Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the massive reveal of Battle 6's multiplayer and upcoming open beta. I've been itching to talk about this, especially since I didn't snag an invite to the reveal event. Guess I'm just not cool enough yet. But if you're new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button anyways. In this video, we'll break down the latest news from maps to game modes, and I'll share my thoughts as a longtime Battlefield fan myself. I've played nearly every Battlefield title going all the way back to 1942. That's right. 20 some odd years of playing Battlefield. Now for me, Bad Company 1 and 2 along with Battlefield 4 were my absolute favorites. Battlefield 2042, let's just say it left me wanting a lot more than what it provided. Oh, it's a fucking tornado! But this reveal for Battlefield 6 has me pumped, and I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to be a return to glory for the whole title. So grab your gear and let's get into it. All right, let's start with the hard facts here. DICE and EA dropped a ton of info during the Battle 6 multiplayer reveal, and it's packed with stuff to get excited about for sure. DICE is positioning Battlefield 6 as a spiritual successor to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. This strategic emphasis aims to recapture the essence of what many consider the glory days of the franchise. They've been directly addressing community feedback following the divisive reception of 2042. And the developers are evidently focused on winning back the core fan base by invoking the familiar and beloved elements of these earlier titles. So here's the rundown. For maps, we're getting 9 multiplayer maps at launch, and they're diverse. Think deserts in Egypt, streets in New York, and man, it looks like you can even maybe blow up the Brooklyn Bridge. And then there's a lot of sparkling of everything in between with mountain maps and everything you can think of. Each map has multiple combat zones tailored for specific modes, so expect quite a bit of variety. Now for game modes, the classics are back. Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush for that all-out warfare vibe. You've also got a FPS stalemate like Team Deathmatch, Squad Deathmatch, Domination, and King of the Hill. Plus, there's a new mode called Escalation, where 2 teams battle over strategic control points, and it escalates, pun intended. It sounds like a conquest mode with a little bit extra spice to it. Now, along with everything else they're bringing back, thank God they're bringing back the class system. We've got Assault, Recon, Support, and Engineer, each with their own gadgets and signature weapons, or at least abilities. I'm already eager to get back in and try the very specific loadouts for these classes and how they really change up how the game feels based on what you're running. Next up is Destruction, something I missed a lot from 2042. And it looks like it's back and better than ever with Bad Company level chaos. You can reshape the entire battlefield, create new paths, and flank enemies, and it's just not about shooting. It's about strategy and blowing stuff up in style. Now speaking of style, they've introduced the kinesthetic combat system, which makes movement and gunplay feel smooth. You can drag and revive teammates or mount weapons on walls to reduce recoil. It's skill-based, but not so crazy you need to be a pro or a no-lifer to really keep up. There is a lot of talk in the community about this, especially with some of the sliding, jumping, and combos of the two. I get it, but I don't think it's all that bad, to be honest. And on top of that, it sounds like there's some adjustments coming this week for the beta even to tone down a little bit in terms of sliding and stuff. We'll just have to wait and see. For me though, having a little advanced movement is super important in modern games. It just has to be done right, where it's not the star of the show, if you will, but more of a side dish. And from what I've seen, they've done a great job with that so far. The system is simple enough that you don't have to be a pro and to be comfortable and effective, but there are enough extra movement abilities to provide a skill gap for those players who want to go that extra step. And then lastly, something everybody seems to always talk about is anti-cheat. Battlefield 6 will utilize Javelin anti-cheat. This is EA's Ricochet. It's their comparison to Activision's Ricochet, if you will, or maybe kind of comparable to Riot's Vanguard, though that might be a bit of a stretch, though it does share some similarities. It's going to be a kernel level boot anti-cheat, which is what Valorant is. And I'm not going to get into the whole details or talk one way or the other about it. I'm just letting you guys know because it is a volatile subject and it will for sure get a ton of discussion between now and launch. So just so you're aware, it is going to be kernel level boot anti-cheat. Now, one of the things that everybody was kind of thinking about, but we didn't expect to see much on, was the multiplayer reveal of a sneak peek at a mystery project that everyone pretty much already knows is their first swing or the first attempt at a BR. I guess it's not their first, but it's going to be Battlefield 6's swing at a BR. It's going to hit Battlefield Labs first, so make sure you go sign up for that when you can. They had it shut down for a while, but I think they've opened it back up. Battlefield Labs. So you can go sign up there, and who knows what it'll entail, but I'm eager to check it out myself. Now, on top of this, we also got a new introduction to Battlefield Portal, and it kind of tipped me over. It's been revamped to be more powerful, letting players create unique community experiences. What we were shown at the reveal is nuts with how much customization and creative potential could be unleashed. Plus, the devs are promising ambitious post-launch support with new mods, weapons, and more. So anyone who's been around Battlefield for a while knows that one of the biggest things that has kept this franchise going was the communities that formed up outside of it. So with this new Portal system, it could give this game some serious legs beyond just the base level game. Now for the server browser, I know this is another big one a lot of people are worried about. And according to Alexia, a producer at Battlefield 6, there will be a system that meets most of the community's desires, or at least what they think, with a server browser that's inside the Portal system itself. It's a bit cryptic for my taste, but I'll hold judgment till we can see what it is in person. A server or browser, in my opinion, is integral to the true Battlefield experience and what people have come to expect from every Battlefield title, whether we got it or not, looking at you 2042. Now, she says it's going to be front-facing, it's not going to be buried, it'll be right there, but again, it just remains to be seen how effective it is and how easy and how productive it is to get in and out of this Portal menu for whatever their take on a server browser is. Now, for the part we've all been waiting for, the open beta. It's happening over 2 weekends, August 9th through the 10th and August 14th through the 17th. And here's the kicker, no early access for pre-orders. Everyone gets to jump in together for free, which shows the devs, to me, are confident in what they've built. Now, there technically is kind of an early access, and if you were in Battlefield Labs, even if you got accepted or not, if you've signed up, you should get a code that lets you play on August 7th and 8th. On top of that, they also did Twitch. I know it's too late, but on the 31st, they did Twitch drops and gave people codes to play that 7th and 8th as well. But I do have some good news. The community lead did say that to keep an eye out on their Discord, as they may be dropping more codes there. So if you're looking for codes, you haven't got one yet, make sure you go get into their Discord. I have no idea any more than that. It's just what he said. Now, preload is going to be August 4th, which is pretty much when this video has already gone live, at 8 a.m. Pacific. And this will just be preloading on PC, the EA app, Steam, Epic, wherever, PlayStation 5, Xbox, it'll be all there. So you can preload it and be ready to play, which also means in the next day or two, we might see some leaks from the data miners. So that could be interesting. They did say that there's going to be some rewards for playing the beta, some exclusive in-game rewards, but no details were given. But you know it's going to be something shiny. So with that, let's get into the more personal thoughts and opinions. As a Battlefield veteran, I've seen this series at its best and, well, its not so best. Bad Company and Battlefield 4 are my gold standards. Those games just felt right. They hit every marker, and they were just some of the best memories I have in gaming are with those. Whereas Battlefield 2042 or even Battlefield 5, they were pretty much letdowns for me. But this reveal, it's got me excited again, and here's why. Simply and obvious as the nostalgic vibes. The gameplay footage screamed Battlefield at its core to me. One small yet impactful detail observed is the mini-map's behavior. And if anybody's played Bad Company, this is going to stand out to you right away. The mini-map is not just 3D, but it dynamically zooms in when a player enters a building, providing a clear sense of the interior layout and immediate threats, and then zooms back out upon exiting. This subtle quality of life feature significantly enhances spatial awareness in close quarters combat and contributes to a more immersive experience. I loved watching it and I wasn't even playing. They also brought back roadie running, or goblin running if you're fancy, from Battlefield 5. It gives you more options for movement that I think are fine without coming across as an Apex Legends or Titanfall kind of game. And the overall vibe, it's got that Battlefield 4 intensity and chaotic, just crazy gameplay, but it's still grounded in some kind of objective or movement. The gunplay and overall feel of Battlefield 6 also strongly resembled Battlefield 4. Again, the developers themselves have stated their intention is for this to be a spiritual success for Battlefield 3 and 4. And the observed modern setting, weapon weight, and engagement dynamics appear to align with just that. It's got that classic, gritty Battlefield aesthetic that I just love myself. Now for audio and visuals, the audio is insane. And that was watching it on streams, not even with my good headset or anything like that.
sound.
It's
Between the
very cool.
It really gave weight to the explosions and the gunfire and the bigger weapons versus the smaller weapons. And visually, the game is just gorgeous. Again, even watching through Twitch streams, the detail and the clarity of stuff was just good. And then I can't say enough about the destruction. It's next level. It's like they've taken everything we've loved and cranked it up to 11. Now, speaking of destruction, the return of Levolution is a dream come true. Bad Company fans, you know what I'm talking about. Being able to reshape the battlefield is what makes Battlefield special, in my opinion. It's not just about kills, it's about strategy and creativity. Now, the open beta approach is one of the biggest good flags we have here. The decision to host a truly open beta with early access primarily granted through Twitch drops or Battlefield Labs registration rather than a direct pre-order sales represents a significant move by DICE and EA. This approach contrasts sharply with past industry practices, and particularly with the troubled launch and beta period of Battlefield 2042, which often felt like a glorified demo. By offering an open beta, DICE is conveying confidence in the game's current state. This strategy signals to the community, hey, we're proud of what we have built and we want everyone to experience it firsthand, without the need for upfront financial commitment or marketing gimmicks. This directly counters the prevailing pre-order culture often criticized by gamers now. While an open beta does carry the inherent risks of exposing bugs or performance issues to a vast audience, it simultaneously facilitates extensive stress testing, gathers invaluable feedback, and if the game performs well, generates substantial organic hype and positive word of mouth that will just run away with this game. This proactive step aims to rebuild trust and demonstrate transparency, which is paramount for a franchise that has recently faced some pretty extreme challenges, directly addressing the cautious sentiment prevalent in the community. You know, all the no pre-order crowd guys. Now, for the movement system, it strikes, I don't want to say it's a perfect balance, but it's a really good one. It's skill-based enough to reward practice, but doesn't require you to master crazy mechanics to be able to compete regularly. Someone myself who's not necessarily a movement god, I'm all for it. I love having skill gaps like that. Now, for the class system flexibility, I myself am a fan of the restricted weapon classes. The 2042 system drove me, I hated everything about it. Restricting classes keeps things a little tactical. But I also love that they're offering playlists with unrestricted classes. That was their vision. It shows that the devs are sticking with their vision, but they're also listening to the community, which I think is a win-win, because we're going to get both of these as playlists, apparently, not just in the beta, but in the launch, where you can play with unrestricted classes or restricted classes. How that's going to flesh out, I'm not totally sure yet, but I'm sure they'll have a system aligned for that makes sense. But there is some things I'm still worried about. First off is monetization. It's a fact of the world we live in today, and EA is never going to pass up a chance on making extra cash. So this could always be a sore spot. It just depends on how they go about it. But with AAA, I'm always weary. We've seen some good things talking about what they're going to not do as far as skins, but even looking at the ones that come from the pre-order edition, you're starting to push those boundaries a little bit, in my opinion. With that is also vehicle balance. It wasn't super easy to tell in the limited footage we had, but it did seem like vehicles were way overtuned. And this has always been a knife's edge in Battlefield that they've had to walk as a developer, because even the smallest changes can swing vehicles from being completely overpowered and unstoppable to being nearly useless. So it's really difficult to do. And then last thing I'm worried about, and I wish I didn't have to talk about it, but we have to, it's cheating. It's a fact of life in online gaming, especially in first-person shooters now. But that doesn't mean I or you have to accept it. These big companies have to find ways to be more effective in dealing with cheaters. Cheating has ruined so many titles in the last decade, and that is depressing. Now it looks like they're coming out swinging against it, but there's always downsides to kernel-level anti-cheats, so we just have to wait and see where we land. Now, I've been with this series forever. Bad Company was a revelation with its destruction, and Battlefield 4 was just pure multiplayer bliss. 2042 didn't quite hit the mark, but this reveal feels like they've learned their lessons from those mistakes. They've pulled the best bits from past games, the minimap, the movement, the destruction, and woven them into something that looks cohesive and exciting. And I'll be honest, my final thoughts will come after I play the beta next week. For now, I'm hyped, but keeping my expectations in check. I've been burned by this before, but this feels like it could be a Battlefield comeback we've all been waiting for. If you're in the crowd of no pre-orders, more power to you. For me, if the beta feels great, I'll end up pre-ordering just so I can preload before October 10th. If you still want to hold off after the beta, again, that's a completely legit thing to want to do and probably smart. Wait and see how the launch goes. Make sure it's smooth and servers aren't on fire, especially since they are miraculously not using the pre-order for early access nonsense. That just seems to be a standard in the industry now. The open beta will provide an invaluable opportunity for players to experience the kinesthetic, man, I have a hard time saying that, kinesthetic combat system, the enhanced destruction, and the return of the classic classes, and along with that, the various game modes and stuff like that firsthand. It will be a critical period to assess the balance of the movement system, the impact of grenade mechanics, and the overall responsiveness of the gunplay. The community's concerns regarding elements like the sliding mechanic and grenade animations will be directly put to the test, allowing players to determine if those elements detract from the overall Battlefield experience or if they are minor issues that can be refined. The launch of Battlefield 6 on October 10th marks a pivotal moment for the franchise. The strategic inclusion of a campaign, a teased battle royale mode, and enhanced Battlefield portal suggests a multifaceted approach to content and player engagement, aiming at broadening the game's appeal and ensuring long-range sustainability. The commitment to an open beta rather than a pre-order exclusive demonstrates a renewed confidence from the developers, a crucial step in rebuilding trust with the community that has expressed caution. The ongoing dialogue between the developers and the player base, evident in the design compromises like the flexible weapon class playlists, indicates a more responsive and iterative development process. The success of Battlefield 6 will ultimately hinge on its ability to deliver a polished, engaging experience that honors the franchise's legacy while also embracing modern gameplay elements. And all of this being while addressing the nuanced feedback from its dedicated community during the beta period and beyond. That's it. That's a wrap. Battlefield 6's multiplayer reveal has me pumped, and the open beta is just days away. I can't wait to dive in and see if it delivers for myself. If you're as excited as I am, make sure to preload the beta on August 4th. Once we get access on the 7th, I'll be live on Twitch and YouTube giving the game my own thorough shakedown. So come say hi and get my thoughts there. With that, I want to give a huge shout out to Operator Drewski. Not that he needs it, the guy's a legend himself, but he let us and anybody who wanted to use B-roll from his video. His content's always top notch, and it's awesome to see creators supporting each other. This video probably wouldn't have been possible, or at least not what it is, without his generosity to the community. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check out his video. But if you're watching this, you probably have. But let me know what you think about Battlefield 6. Are you hyped for the beta? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and we'll see what you have to say. With that, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're still here. I have to imagine you like the content. Plus, it helps me out and it tells YouTube you want to see more of it. And that way you won't miss out on my follow-up video after I've played the beta. Until then, stay frosty, and we'll see you in the battlefield.